You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy volt your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
Brooke Silva.
Tiffany Hampton, good morning.
Good morning. So I wanted to talk a little bit, and this always gets me in the world of coaching. When someone says, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to bother people. I didn't sign up to be a salesperson. And I look at their license, and what does it say?
Real estate salesperson.
And I understand. I understand the limiting belief. And yet, what did you think you were going to be doing?
So, I have a couple opinions on this because I've heard this so many times as well. And I come from a sales environment. I've always been in some type of sales and education role. So it does boggle my mind when people say this, but I think also at the end of the day, sales has a bad reputation. But if you start to think about everybody you meet on a daily basis, Starbucks, the people who help you at Starbucks, they're salespeople. The person who helps you with your glasses order after you see the eye doctor, salespeople. Your server, salesperson. Would you like to see a dessert menu?
They upsell you.
Everything. The other day I had to get my windshield repaired because a big rock hit it on my way to Portsmouth, and it, did the whole lovely thing.
Yep.
And as I'm trying to get off the phone, the person who set the appointment for me is like, would you like to upgrade your windshield wipers? I'm like, no, they're brand new. Would you like special fluid? No, everything, no.
I just want you to fix my windshield.
I just want my windshield fixed tomorrow because I can't go anywhere. And I think that's what most people have in their mind are used car salespeople or pushy timeshare people or people who are speaking to you who have no idea what you want, what you value, or your needs are before, and they assume that what they have, whatever widget they're pushing, is the best widget for you at this time when there's no relationship. And I think that last part, when there's no relationship, is the key that will help our friends with their limiting beliefs.
Well, and I don't want to call my friends. I don't want to call the people I work with. I don't want to call my family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bother them. I don't want to be pushy, right? And at the end of the day, I always come back with, are you good at what you do? And if you're brand new, do you have a great team that will support you so you're good at what you do? Because at the end of the day, do you want your friends or family to work with somebody that might be part-time, might not have the support that we have at KW, that might pay too much for the house, might sell undervalue? There's so much more harm in not having conversations than having conversations. And I think we push our opinion of what a salesperson is and how we're going to treat somebody onto other people without even, that's not how they feel.
Yeah, they don't.
Right?
They don't.
How appreciative are people when you turn around and you give them market value information?
Yeah. And, our affirmation from today, I think the other big piece is nobody goes to school to be a realtor in college. Very few do, unless you're in Texas at nobody goes to school to be a realtor. So we're all coming from walks of life where this detailed relationship building and logging the series of events may feel cold and personal and odd to people. If you're a server, you don't have a database of your clients, and every time they go back, you're logging what they ate, when they ate it, and how did they like it, and do you know their hobbies. When you have regulars, that happens automatically. And our affirmation today is, I am a person with unique talents and capabilities. And that's what our agents need to really lean on to help get them over that I don't want to be salesy or bothersome.
Right. Well, the other part of it is not only are we in the sales industry, we're also in the service industry.
Yes.
And you can't have one without the other.
You can't. And when people think of you as a realtor, we want them to think of you as they know the best pizza place. They know the best contractor, landscaping person. They have their pulse on the communities in which they service. And notice we don't say sell. Nobody says sell on things, but we want you to be the person that if I move into the community, Tiffany, and you are my agent, I'm going to reach out to you because you're my glue to this community because you help everyone here. I don't know which laundromat to use or tailor or dry cleaner, which one's better, which one's, even if you pay a little more, right? There's all these little things that make up a community. And that's where the value of an agent comes in. It's not just sell the widget, forget about the person who bought the widget, move on to the next person that's going to buy a widget. This world is all about the relationships you build.
And I'll say in all honesty, there's nothing wrong with either one of those salespeople types. Like, I mean, those that know me well know that I have my circles and I stay within my circles. And yet and I do like to cold call and I like the cold business. That's like, I remember getting back into the industry in 2018, 3,000 dials, 850 conversations, 27 listings, 30 closings in a 6-month period because I love to cold call and I can sell that way. There's nothing wrong with that. And yet there's an easier way to do it. By building great relationships.
It is. And, one of the things is, and Jen Bovey, I love it when she gets on this kick on our calls, but it's knowing your numbers.
Yeah.
And when we say that often, it can be confusing. So it's not only national, international, like watching what's going on in our world. Our NAR website has so much broad info on it. But are you logging into the MLS every morning and pulling, some MLSs call it a hot sheet, but do you know how many properties in the areas you service have hit the market, gone under contract, sold? Did they sold over or asking? In how many days? Are you watching properties around where you have listings to see what's happening? Because when people ask you about the market, you have so much ammunition to talk to them and so much value to bring. Are you coming as a buyer, seller, investor? What would you like to know? I think the other thing is we get so excited when we get into this building, into this, we walk into KW, we've got all our stuff. We just want to overshare. We're a realtor. We know everything, right? Like we know all the market. I'm an expert in properties. I've been here 3 days. But what... And it's true. And what we end up doing is just barfing information out there without usually finding out if that's information that is important to that person. And we also burn our sphere of friends and family out.
Yeah.
Because what we do is we start a Facebook, we start marketing to them, but never once do we have a phone conversation or face-to-face asking for help. And I think yes, we have to have real estate conversations, but if we went into it as simple as this, I'm sure as you've seen on Facebook or you might have heard through the family, I am now in real estate. I'm not going to ask you right now to buy, sell, invest, refer, but what I would love is if you could support my business by doing a few things. I have this great program that allows me to send some really cool things out. I'm learning it. Can I add you to that list? Because I love you and trust you. I know if something's not in my voice or if there's a mistake, you're going to get back to me.
Yeah.
Would you like my Facebook group or business and share it. And same thing, if you see something that is not me, not my voice, or is incorrect, or I spell something wrong, would you please let me know? I really appreciate your help as I build my business.
Absolutely. And I would move on to that. Like when I was productivity coaching, one of the things I told all my clients is find 10 friends and family members, go practice the buyer presentation. Like literally say, hey, would you do me a favor? I need to practice this. I know you'll be honest with me. And then share the buyer presentation, share the listing presentation, give them a market analysis. Everybody wants to know what the value of their house is. And then ask the question at the end, who do you know that I should know that would benefit from this practice? Right.
Yeah.
And then once you build the credibility, and let's also talk about it, it takes time to build that credibility, right? You build that credibility with having a great voice, not a salesy voice, a great voice.
Relationship voice.
Right.
And you have to also think about what you're projecting on social media or email. And a lot of the times, realtors don't want to post anything personal or anything that isn't real estate or email about non-real estate things. And there's 2 books you and I both love. Mine is Start With Why, and yours is People Buy You. And we have those linked in the show notes. But if people don't know you, understand you, or feel valued by you, they are not going to be repeat customers. They're not going to be clients. There's not going to be the relationship there. Simon Sinek says people buy not what you do, but why you do it. And the only way people can understand or get to understand how or what is your why is by the message you're curating in your social media world. If you are only posting just listed, open houses, sold, buyer under contract, what you're saying to your community is, I'm too busy for you.
Yep.
But by adding posts, and I live by the 80-20 rule on Facebook, 80% non-business related, 20% business. When they do see a business post, it's not going to hurt because they've already interacted with fun things you put out there. And you're bringing value. The other thing is, we as agents, they assume they know what the end user wants without having conversations. So we just drip and put all these things on them. Yet we're not having conversations using the FORD, the family, occupation, recreation, dreams, to really get to know the person on the other side of the table to make sure our relationships are where they're supposed to be, because a rocky relationship is going to make that path from contract to close very difficult.
There has to be trust, right? And I always, my philosophy was, if the person I'm speaking to, the audience I'm speaking to, is not buying or selling real estate in the next 6 months, what am I offering them? Right. So I always gave out the list of fireworks for 4th of July. We have the KW New England growth call on Mondays at 2:00. And if you need the link, send us an email. That gives us an opportunity to talk to our audience, and it's not real estate specific.
Right.
It's relationship building.
Right. And we need to be careful, like I said, about that message we curate. Know your numbers. Bring value with real estate and what's relevant to your community. And one of the things and the ways I love to do that is with tags. We talked about it yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was last week. Yeah, last week we talked about how do you use tags to remind you of who these people are without having to go through pages of notes, right? So it's something as simple as like barbecue fan, skiing, fishing, anything that helps you tie them in personally, and you have something to talk about that's not just real estate. It's disarming to the people when they do connect with you, right? So if I were to say, hey, Tiffany, is the kayak packed up for the season?
No, I'm hoping for one more day.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you have a wetsuit, and wishing you and your family a very warm Thanksgiving, and let somebody know if you go kayaking. Right? So not every conversation has to be about real estate. because we've talked about filling that bank up, right? I'm making a deposit into our relationship. So when I do have to withdraw and make that connection to real estate, it doesn't hurt.
Right. And I was driving Chris to school this morning, and that's my thinking time. My brain doesn't shut off when I'm driving. And I was thinking about the tags, right? Like at the end of the day, with this new initiative, who am I going to add to my database, and what's the tag going to look like? Because that tag is so important to stay relevant, to not be salesy, to not come from, oh, the only time she ever calls me is there's a need, right? That's what that tag does for you.
Right. It gets rid of commission breath.
Mm-hmm.
It gets rid of commission breath because we are the only ones who can change the view of our industry. And it's by doing the right things, building relationships. If you don't want to be in sales, that's great. But you then have to be a relationship monster.
Right. And that's it, right? Like at the end of the day, get rid of the limiting belief. And it comes back to building your big why, your someday goals. Like, what were you put on this planet to accomplish? There is no greater way to reach your goals than in the real estate industry. And to have that limiting belief hold you back is just nonsense.
Mm-mm. All right. So you've got unique talents and capabilities. It's going to make it so you're not salesy or bothersome. Kick that limiting belief to the curb. Know your numbers. Practice, ask for help, and then tag. And then I challenge you, if you've got a tag, look at your tags where you have the people with the most. Find an event on Facebook. There's a thing called Facebook events. If it's a barbecue, then you know what? Find barbecue and then send a quick personal email out to those people who have the barbecue fan about that event that's going on. Hey, I remembered how much you love barbecue. Just want to know, I saw this indoor barbecue taco truck festival coming.
Right.
Here's
those things up here in New England.
I love them. We do have some really good barbecue trucks.
Absolutely. All right, my friend. Till the next time.
We will see you guys next time.
Bye.